Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. This is episode 5 of the Spotlight on Amputee series. And I have reached out to several different communities, amputee communities, and, just kind of put out the same, the kind of flyer that I've made. Hey, Mac, what's up, buddy? The flyer that I've kind of put out to other people before they've seen. And, when I put out that, I've had several people respond back. And, tonight we have a very interesting story for you guys. Somebody that whenever I first talked to her and first learned a little bit more about her story, I was really excited for you guys to hear more about her. And again, I don't tell people's story for them. I like to let them do it on their own. And tonight we're going to do that. But I want to bring up my good friend, Miss Rachelle. Rachelle,
Hi.
hey, my friend.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing? Everything good?
I am doing great. Yes. I'm taking care of a sick 2-year-old right now. She has a stomach flu, so
Yay. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. So it's gonna be a long night, but
Well, it's mom energy, you know what I'm saying? It's a totally different kind
oh,
of energy.
it's a whole vibe. It's.
It is, it is. Real quick, can you see the comments at all? Like
No,
you can't see them at all?
I see nothing.
Okay, are you on your phone or PC?
I'm on my phone.
Okay. All right, well there should be a tab right there for comments, but either way, people, they'll pop in and say hello to you as well. So, there you go. But
Okay.
no big deal. Miss Christie here, she was saying hello. Hello, Miss Christie. Good seeing you.
Hi.
Okay, well, I was telling people a little bit about, how we met and that kind of stuff. And you and
Mm-hmm.
I had spoken before a little bit, kind of briefly, and I was just, I wanted to talk to you and bring you on. We've never had a double amputee on the show. We've had, plenty of amputees, but we've never had a double. So you're our very first. And
Awesome.
I would, you know what it's like when an amputee says, "Wow, that's so cool." You know,
Yeah.
it's different. It hits different. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's kind of,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's
Mm-hmm.
interesting to have a double on, and I was very excited when you agreed to come on, and I greatly appreciate you taking the time and just having the all around balls to just come on and talk to us and tell us your story. So,
Yeah.
having said that, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you lost your legs?
So I have been a double amputee for I think 7 years as of April.
Hmm.
Um, it's kind of a crazy event because it technically shouldn't have happened in the first place, but it did. So my fiance is very into cars and like truck shows and all that. And we had these really good friends of ours, and we were all going just 45 minutes away to this car show that they did every single weekend. It was our first time going to it. Well, my first time going to it. I don't think it was his first time. He went to plenty, but I was like, yeah, I'll go to this one with you. And so we were going, and it was kind of like lightly raining outside, and the highway had puddles on it, so it was like really big puddles. And um, we were driving in front, and his friend and his girlfriend at the time were in the car behind us. And we went through the puddle perfectly fine. His friend and his friend's girlfriend at the time hit the puddle, but they unfortunately did not make it through that puddle. They ended up fishtailing kind of, and like their back end of their car started sliding. And he did really good. Like he got under control, and then this truck that was riding behind him wasn't paying attention to what was happening. And so when they went to get it under control, the truck hit him, which then spun him out across 3 lanes of traffic and ended up hitting a guardrail. Me and my boyfriend at the time were watching all this happen in the mirrors of of his car, and we pulled over off the side of the road. And I just kind of sat there and I'm like, what do you want to do? Like, I mean, it's raining, roads are wet, stuff can happen. And he's like, well, it's my friend. I want to make sure that he's okay. 'Cause I mean, they hit that girder pretty hard. Like the front of his car was like completely smashed. And my friend, who was his friend's girlfriend at the time, actually just got a heart monitor put on like I think a week before or something like that, maybe a month. I don't remember. So I was like, okay, yeah, I should probably go check on her because that thing's probably going off. I want to make sure she's okay. And so me and my boyfriend at the time, we take off running down the interstate, and I'm opening the doors. We're talking to him. I sit on the floorboard of the car, with my legs out in the road with the car door open. Not the smartest idea I should have had, but a car from 3 lanes over ended up hydroplaning, doing the exact same thing my friends did, and ended up slamming the door on my leg. My left leg got amputated
Wow.
above the knee, basically like that day. I spent 103 days in the hospital. Um, After about 2 weeks in the hospital, they were fighting to save my right leg. They came back and they're like, hey, we can save this leg. They said, but you won't have any ankle movement. You won't really be able to, your calf will hurt, your shins will hurt. Like they said, you're just going to be in lifetime of pain and you're just going to have to take pain meds for the rest of your life. And they said, and I don't know if that's something you'd be willing to do because I'm
Yeah.
not a person to take medicine. Like I will not take a pill. I'd rather just like sleep it off. And
Same here.
so,
Same here.
yeah,
I don't like the feeling of pills. I have what's
me either.
called,
I do
I,
not. Mm-mm.
yep. I talk about that in some of my other videos where I talk. It's called
Yeah,
pill head, where you just kind of just like feel kind of like falling into yourself. Just
yeah.
kind of. I don't
I
like that
hate it.
feeling. And
Me
yeah,
either.
right on. That's awesome.
Yeah, not for me.
That
And
is
so,
awesome.
obviously, I was already on pain meds, like in the hospital, going through all this, right? And my dad
Yeah.
was there with me, and they brought him this piece of paper, and they said, okay, they said, if you sign this piece of paper, you are giving us consent to take your daughter's legs. They
Yeah.
said, so we want you guys to think about it and talk about it and let us know what you want to do. Because I wasn't able to sign. I was old enough, I just wasn't able to sign. Because, yes.
Dang.
So we sat there, we cried, talked about it, and I told him if getting it amputated is going to save me from the pain and the suffering that I'm going to endure, then I'd rather take it off. Um, so one of the hardest decisions I have ever made in my life was
Absolutely.
having to
100%.
get my
Yep.
leg amputated. So
Yeah, you
yeah,
don't you just don't take that lightly, you know? It's just like, "These are my legs
mm-mm,
here." I mean, come on. One's
yeah,
already gone, but I mean,
yeah.
give
And
me
I think
something.
I think the hard part about it was my parents really didn't know like at first like the extent of it because my boyfriend at the time had to call them, you know, and he did not do well with having to see everything and witness everything that happened. So when he called my parents, they just knew I got in a car accident and that I had a scratch on my leg. So
Oh, wow.
yeah. So when they showed
Okay.
up to the hospital and the doctor came out and said, "Hey, are you the parents of so and so?" And they said, "Yeah." They said, "Well, her left leg's gone and we're working on saving her right." As parents, like that's you think you're going in because your daughter just got a little scratch on her leg, and possibly might need surgery, not that she's gonna potentially become a double amputee.
Yeah, I was completely
So
misled in this situation.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
So
saying that immediately makes me think of my own daughter, like, and
mhm,
it just, like, hits me in the chest. I'm like, "Oh my god," I could not imagine
yeah.
that. Like, from a father's standpoint, there's no way, and you know what? I couldn't do that. I
And
mean,
it's kind of crazy because like my parents never take their phone to bed. Like when I was living with them at the time, never took it to bed. My dad left his phone downstairs, plugged in on the charger all night. So he told me the night before, he goes, okay, he's like, I'm gonna take my phone up to bed with me. He's like, because I just don't feel right about this, like
Yeah.
about you going. He goes, I just feel something's off about it.
Yeah.
He said, so I'm gonna take my phone to bed with me tonight. And if you need anything tomorrow, call me. And
That
like
unsettled
even that
feeling.
next day, yeah, and like even that next day, we got up, we were getting ready. The friend we were going with texted us and said, "Hey, we're running behind, yada yada yada." Like our day was not working out how we wanted it to. Um, so it was just crazy how he took his phone to bed, never
Yeah.
doing that before, and then that happens.
Yeah. And how long ago was that? Ralph was asking, how many years ago was that?
Um, that was 7 years ago.
7 years
I
ago. Okay.
was 20 when it happened.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. No, you
Yeah.
said that. I remember you saying that. Now I'm sorry.
Yeah. No,
But
you're
yeah. Well,
fine.
he said I came in a little late, so I was just like,
No, he's fine.
you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Um. So you said you were in the hospital for what? Over 100 days? Is that? Did I hear that correctly?
Um, well, a little less than that technically.
My
It felt like
goodness.
100 days, but I'm pretty sure it was closer to maybe 90.
Either way, I
Yeah,
mean, whole, who's counting at that point? I mean,
I was
you
not.
pretty
I
much
was
are
not.
yeah, you're a resident at that point, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
oh my
Mm-hmm.
god, like you've seen nurses' kids grow up and stuff, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for
My
sure.
goodness. My goodness. Um, well, I've said before whenever we were doing kind of our chat before this is, a lot of the questions that I have that I've asked people before is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little kind of modified because you're a
Mm-hmm.
double amputee,
Right.
so asking questions like, do you use crutches or do you use a walker? Do stuff like that's not really going to apply. So,
Um, in a way, technically, I did at
yeah.
first. Okay, so it's weird because like I'm a below knee on my right side.
Hmm.
So, um, that took a long time to heal, but I did use crutches, a wheelchair at first, and then I went to physical therapy. I was in physical therapy for about 2 years. Um, and I ended up using crutches, but with my left leg, which is weird because I was the one that was amputated first. But I actually
Hmm.
started using crutches um in October of that same year, my accident. So
Okay.
um I got my leg fitted, I got it made, and I used my wheelchair most of the time, but to go to the bathroom and stuff, I did use crutches. And then after my crutches, I moved to a cane.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, I mean, yeah. So you were up and still doing stuff. Now, do you wear your leg? How often do you wear your legs? Like, do you
All
put
day.
it on, like, wear one and just kinda hobble around? I mean, how does that work really?
I wear both of them all day,
Okay.
from the moment I get up to the moment I go to bed. And throughout the night, if I have to use the bathroom, I just put on my right leg because it's my below knee side, and I just use my walker and I just literally hop my way to the bathroom.
Okay,
Um,
that's what I was kinda curious about. Gotcha.
yeah,
I gotcha. Okay.
yep.
Okay. So, I guess with that, you could still just, like, kinda roll on a liner a lot easier because you have both. I've been both. I've been a below the knee and, now I'm an above knee.
Oh
So,
gosh.
yeah, I've been in that situation. First, it
Mhm.
started with a toe, and then you don't talk about yourself in an interview, so I do apologize. But
No, you're
mine
fine.
personally, it started with a toe, and then it ended with my foot, basically all my toes
Mhm.
gone, up just past the ankle, and then up just below the knee. And then now I'm, well, a little bit higher below the knee after some
Mhm.
surgeries and stuff like that gone wrong. And now I'm above the knee. So it's just kind
Okay.
of continuously been going
Gradually,
up.
yeah.
And on my other side, basically my foot looks like that. Like it looks like I
Oh.
have, like, those toes are gone.
Oh wow.
So yeah, they left the other two for stability. So
Well, I mean that makes sense though.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you could do just fine, with it bisected like that. I've
Mhm.
seen a lot of folks that have done that. So, but back to you, my friend. Um, Again, there's no place for an I in interview. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean, what? We're just rolling. We're rolling with it.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, I want to take just a second. Where there's lots of folks in here that are saying hi to you and coming in and being a part of things, and I just wanted to say hello to everybody. So, let's see, Pigeon Mac, Mister or Miss Christy Yant, Caparo, my brother, Miss Rippet, good seeing you, Mister Ralph, good seeing you, my brother. Let's see here, scrolling down, Cowboy, the one and only, good seeing you. Miss Maka CTG in the house. Scrolling on down. All right. So, so what was physical therapy like after coming out of the hospital and that kind of stuff? I mean, did you do any kind of physical therapy? Did it, was it pretty extensive? How'd that work out?
Yeah, I did way too much. So when I was in the hospital, right, they would bring me a schedule almost every day, every morning. They'd bring, actually, technically every night because it would start in the morning. Like they'd bring me a schedule every night for like the next morning, and I would be starting like physical therapy and occupational therapy and like therapy sessions like for depression and all that. Um, like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I would go all the way until 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Doing all these kinds of therapies in the hospital.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I literally like my memories pop up on Facebook. You know how Facebook does that,
You get
and
flooded with that stuff.
all the time. And it'll be like 7 years ago today. I'm like, oh look, I was in physical therapy. Like crazy,
Didn't I do anything cool this whole year? I mean, come
right?
on, man.
Right, man. But no, and then like
Everything's
I
me
got
laying in a
home.
hospital bed.
Yeah, exactly. It was awful. But oh well. In fact, then I got home and I had in-home therapy, and I ended up, I guess, graduating. I don't know if you can graduate that, but basically they said I was doing good and that I didn't need them anymore, which awesome, cool.
Okay.
I didn't really have like legs at the time. Like I had one, but like I really didn't like walk a lot. So there wasn't really much for them to do. Like I had them for maybe a month, maybe two after I got out of the hospital. Um, and then I ended up going to outpatient physical therapy at the place my dad worked at. So I went there on and off for 2 years, learning just how to like balance myself, stepping over, like stepping over the little bowl things that they put on the ground.
Mhm.
He'd have me like on exercise ball. Um, and then eventually I was doing good and he released me, but I ended up going back to him like a year later, um, for myself because I have a really bad arch in my back. And I don't know if it's because of the accident and my prosthetics or what, but like my back arches tremendously now. So I had to go to physical therapy to correct that. It helped a little bit, but it's not to the point where it needs to be, and I'm still having a lot of back pain, but I don't want to go back to physical therapy, so
Yeah.
I try not to.
It wears you out. It's tough, man. I mean, there's
Yeah,
people that
it
go to
is.
the gym and it's like, I work out all the time, yada yada. It's like, have you ever been to physical therapy? It's like they beat the crap out of you.
They do. And he was
I
one
get
that
why though.
yeah, I have him. I have like this support page on Facebook and like kind of has my entire journey on there, and I still post on there, not as often as I did, but every now and then like I'll post when I get a new set of legs, I'll post like updates on my life, like when I got a new car, when I had my baby, um, and my physical therapist is on there, and he comments all the time.
It's like, all right, I guess you're my physical therapist. I'm a motivational speaker too.
Yeah,
Whatever,
yeah,
I'll take it. Do I have to pay for this
mhm.
though? Is this is this
Right.
deductible? Am I going to be billed for this later on?
Yeah, exactly,
I'll
exactly.
block you if need be. I don't. I mean, I have no problem doing.
He'll block you. I'm not scared. I'm not. I'll do it right
You're
now.
more physical than me, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah. No, he's a great
Awesome.
guy. He means well, definitely.
Good deal. Something I was curious about that, I was, thinking about when you and I first met is when a double amputee gets casted, when you have, casting day, do
Hmm.
you get one and then come back and do the other, or do you do on both days, or is it just depending on if one's, because obviously your stumps and stuff, your legs aren't going to shrink as much
Hmm.
as the
Right.
other, or equally rather.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't get casted on my above knee side. Never been.
Okay. How does
I
that
get
work?
cast. Well, I have a longer limb on my left side. So they literally will just take a tape measure and they'll measure the length, they'll measure the width, they'll measure the end of it. And
Really?
that's how they make it. Yeah. They literally use a tape measure.
That is cool.
It's cool, but it's also super inaccurate because
Okay.
obviously, like when you don't have your leg on, like your leg changes. Like when I stand up, my leg's skinnier. When I sit down, it's fatter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they
Everything
measure me
drops
when I'm
to the bottom.
sitting down. Yeah, and they would measure me sitting down. So like they'd measure me wider than what
Yeah.
I actually am because like when they make the leg, they're making it too big because they're measuring me when my leg's at its biggest volume. Which I mean, it makes sense because they gotta incorporate for like volume and like all the changes your leg goes through throughout the day. But I'm like, if you would actually just measure me when I'm standing up, like I can hold myself up for a good amount of time for you to get these measurements. So, but
Okay.
I've been just, I feel like I have more issues with them using a tape measure than I do. Like they can cast my right side, my below knee side all day, and it's the perfect fit, perfect socket all the time. Like never had to do any adjustments or anything to my right leg. My
Okay.
left leg, I'll have to go back month after month after month and get changed. And that's the part that I'm just like annoyed
I mean,
about, you know?
it sounds like you just like there's not a really, I always that's one of my questions I always ask is, do you have a good working relationship with your prosthetist? And it sounds like not really. Like they're not really communicating with you.
My new
And
one
I'm not trying to start anything. I
is
don't want to be like that.
no, I have been through four of them. The one my own doing because they didn't listen to me. The other ones, they literally all moved away. Like they went to different states. And I'm like, we just got to know each other. Like we're just now getting each other's vibe, and then you move.
Right.
So Um, all the prosthetists that I haven't had for long. But the one I have now, he knows me because he's literally been there with me. He was a very original one I had 7 years ago. Well, he worked with that person, like he wasn't mine. He worked with them though. So he's known me for 7 years, basically.
Yeah. That Cowboy points out, he's like, that's odd that they aren't casting you and just measuring. I'm
Yeah.
100% with him on that because I've
Mhm.
been casted for, again, below the knee and above the knee.
Yeah.
And when you're below the knee, obviously you can sit there and just kind of, hang your stump off the
Mhm.
edge and let them do their thing. But
Yeah.
I've always, always, always had to stand up in the stirrups, like in those metal bars, and they cast you like
Yeah.
that. He's got basically it looks like a drum throne, like a drummer would sit on, and it's got wheels on the bottom of it, and you just kind of they'll wheel around and kind of get you fixed up and cast the whole leg and everything. But you're always standing up for that one simple reason that water balloon effect when your leg, all that skin and stuff. I mean, our muscles
Yeah.
gone there, so it starts to drop down. You have to account for that.
Yeah, and I don't know why I never really asked them why they didn't cast it. I just thought that was normal, you know? I just figured they didn't cast the above knee side, so I never really
No,
thought to ask them why they don't, because I just feel like that would be a more accurate measurement, like a more accurate
yeah.
result.
How this will sound odd, but how close, and you don't say where you're at, but how close to Lexington, Kentucky are you? That a pretty good ways?
Um, yeah, I want to say about 5 hours.
Okay, all right. See,
I mean, like, it's
I
not
know
like
a place there.
really far, but yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I know a place there that our last guest, Chevy, he was pointing out, and he was saying that they're like it's an amazing place. I know it's closer up north, but I didn't know if that would be
Yeah.
suitable for you or not. So, all right.
Not 5 hours.
No, Get with me after this, and I want to like look around because there's different resources. I'm sure there's a bunch of resources around you. I mean,
Oh, I'm
because
sure.
again, we're not going to say where you're at, but you're in a bigger area, a metropolitan area,
I'm
or
close to one, yeah.
yeah, around it. So much like
Yeah.
myself. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, we can find you because that's not right. That's something's very odd about that. The fact that they would just do that and be
Yeah,
like,
I
"Here you go, see
never
you later."
really asked. Yeah, I know. I never really asked, honestly. I just assumed it was normal.
It's not. It's really not.
Apparently.
Look on my channel. There's a video of me actually getting casted, and I'm standing up, and you got this weird, like, kind of, I don't know, paper underwear thing that they put in on you.
Hmm,
It makes sense when you see it, but yeah,
crazy.
that's so odd that they would cast you like that. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, does it with that? I mean, does it fit well at all? I mean, do you have to put on a ton of socks to get it to, a good, like, nice fit?
Yeah, so I have gotten a new leg every year for the past, I have 8 pairs of legs.
Wow. Okay.
Hmm. Yep. And my original legs that they gave me are now used for the shower and the beach and the pool. They made them into like little water legs for me. So that was cool. But yeah, no, I get a new set of legs every year.
All right. And that's new
Yeah.
component like feet and everything?
No, just socket.
Okay, right.
I can't, I'm not on my dad's insurance anymore. I'm solely on my own, and my insurance sucks. So, I can't even get a new knee. I can't get a new foot. I can't get a new anything because they only cover sockets. So,
I got you.
yeah,
Rob said we're gonna call you a spider.
that's fine.
You got 8 legs.
I, they're all in my garage.
I've got all
Actually,
mine
one
sitting
is
over
a
here.
planter. I used one my below knee side. My mom has it, and we put it in her flower bed, and we plant flowers in it. So it's like a little flower pot.
Nice. That's pretty
Yeah,
awesome. I
right?
have a
I thought so.
I got a good friend of mine, he builds RC cars, and,
Oh,
he took one of my sockets and cut it up and made, like, basically, like, chassis parts out of it. Because he was
mm-hmm.
like, "This is awesome. This is good carbon fiber." He's like, "This shit is really light and it's really strong."
Yeah,
I was like, "Go for it." So there's actually one of
have
my
it.
sockets that was kinda, like, cut and, moved and bent
Mm-hmm.
and screwed back
Yeah,
together that's now on, parts of an RC car, so thought that was pretty
yeah.
awesome.
That's cool though. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, just cut it up into pieces.
Hmm.
But, what kinda components do you have now? Like, what kinda knee and feet and that kinda stuff do you have?
I have no idea what my feet are. Whatever they gave me 7 years ago is kind of just what they are. My
Yeah,
knee on my left leg is a C leg 3.
okay. So, who makes that?
Yeah,
I forgot. Is that
Ottobock.
Autobach? Okay, I was thinking for some reason
Mm-hmm.
thinking that was Osure or Oser or whatever.
No, but I heard those were good too. But yeah, I wanted to see Lake 4, but I'm not paying out of pocket for that, so I'm stuck with the 3 until I get new insurance. So
Yeah, I mean, why not? They're super cheap. I mean, just
yeah, super super cheap, pocket change.
$25,000, ma'am.
Mm, I
What's that?
have that laying around,
Just sitting there, no big deal.
just in there.
Well, that's yeah, okay. Well, I mean, but they work great for you. I mean, they seem to be doing okay
Yeah.
and, you know,
Hmm.
doing
I don't. Yeah, I have
accurately.
no issues with them as of now. Probably will in
Okay.
like 7 months, but not as of now. So
I got you. Yeah. Yeah, that's something I was getting ready to talk. Yeah, exactly. Same thing. Cowboy already pointed out. She should get in touch with the Amputee Coalition and see if they can help her with cost. That's also, I was going to mention that as well, is the Amputee Coalition of America. They actually help out with that kind of stuff. So if there's
mm,
anything that you need or anything like that, reach out to them and just tell them who you are and that kind of stuff. And they create a case, so to speak, you know. And it's
Mhm.
not charity, it's not anything like that. It's just, you know, they want to make sure that everybody gets what they need and everybody's taken care
Right.
of like they should, you know. It's not like let's give her a donor or whatever or anything like that. They get in touch with your prosthetist and they're like, look, they're basically an advocacy group for you. And they'll speak up for you and be like, look, her casting's not working. They'll say the things that you don't want to say for you.
Right, yeah.
So, you
I
know,
really should. Like, I've heard of them. I've just never like actually reached out to them personally. But I have
they're a
heard of
big
them.
help.
So
Yeah, they're a big help
yeah,
for folks like you and I, for sure.
you definitely need to do that then.
Yep. I would definitely give them a holler and just kind of, you know, definitely ask to speak with somebody. Don't just throw a
Mhm.
random, you know, don't put your whole story out there to somebody because they're gonna be like, "What is this?" You know. But just try to ask
Yeah.
to speak with an actual representative, and when you do, then you can, you know, just give it to them. Just let them hear exactly what you've told us tonight, and they'll be like, "All right, well, let's look into that." Because there's no reason they should just be taping you or using a tape measure and then being like, "Yeah, that works. Let's just go with that." You know.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
so odd to me. Oh my god. Like, I don't understand that. And I really don't even wanna say their name, so we're gonna gloss over that one. Um, but I mean, you said at least the below the knee is working right and, like, everything fits and
Perfect.
is getting along. Well,
Mm,
that's good. I mean, that's good.
yeah.
I mean, that's not causing you any pain or anything like that. No knee issues or hip whatever or anything. Okay. Well, yeah. That's right on, right on. Okay. Well, I mean, from before, I guess, how has this affected your life? I mean, and I'm not talking about, well, this, I can't do this, I can't do this. I'm talking about the biggest thing, the things that you truly miss. Like, you know, I used to play baseball or I used to whatever, I used to do this or, you know, what would you say is something that you just, man, I really wish I'd give anything to go back and do fill in the blank one more time.
So, okay. I always had this running joke with my dad. Um, he was very, very athletic back in the day. I mean, not so much anymore, obviously, because he's up there in age. But he would always come in my room every morning at 7 a.m. and say, "Hey, I'm gonna go on a run," or "Hey, I'm gonna go ride my bike. Do you want to come?" I always told him no, because who am I getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning to go on a run? Who does that? No,
Yep.
not
No.
me. Not me.
Old
But
people do that,
now,
man.
but now looking back on it, I wish I would have took him up on that opportunity a lot more,
Yeah.
because I do miss that aspect. And I was an avid softball player. I played softball for I think 10 to 12 years, from basically middle school until I got my car accident. I was in a co-ed league, in my town. So
Okay.
I was an avid softball player, so just to be able to play softball again would be nice. Walking on a beach normally, like without having to either be carried or struggle with the sand, that I miss that. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but the biggest thing would probably be not taking my dad up on those walks and bike rides that he would always ask me to go on early in the
Yeah.
morning.
Man. Oh, that hits me in the heart right there.
Yeah,
What an amazing answer. And like,
yeah,
absolutely, man. Because I am a dad again, you know, so that
yeah.
kind of stuff, you know, and I get a lot of those kind of moments, but kind of the opposite, you know,
Mhm.
where I want to go places, you know, and run after my daughter and do this and do that, and you know, and you just can't,
Yeah,
you know. I can
yeah.
actually, like, when I'm at the playground, it's going to sound weird, but if I have my forearm crutches with me, I have a lot more fun if I just take my leg off and use my forearm crutches.
Right, like kind of like
Mm.
swing, Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of, I mean, if your
Yeah.
arms and stuff can stand it, man, that's way more fun, you know. I mean, it
Yeah.
just, you know, it just is. So I recommend trying that. Just taking off the above knee and just kind of, you know.
Going for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that a lot, and I have a lot of parents that's kinda like you'll see them just kinda be like, "What is that dude doing?" Like, "Oh my god, he just took his leg off. D Are y'all seeing this?" You know? I don't care. I mean, I'm sure much like yourself, I mean, you're a shorts person, and I love that. When you sent me a picture, I was like, "I need a picture just to kinda make a good, avatar of,
Hmm.
introduce, this is Miss Rachelle," and you sent me a picture of you, and I was just like, "Yes, she's proud of who she is." You know what I mean? You just rock it,
Yeah.
and that's awesome, you know?
Thanks.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, and I'm not like, "Good for you," but
You know.
for real though, good for you, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I have, like, all my pants and stuff, the leg is cut off, and you can see my leg, like, I don't wear full leg jeans because
What? I I need to do that. But like I love clothes and like cutting up a pair of my pants would probably bring me to tears because
Gotcha.
I love clothes. But it's also like with my BK it's hard too because like that would just look weird, like a capri and then like shorts. I don't know. It might not. I don't know.
I
But
get yeah, yeah,
'cause I still have some of my leg on my right side, so I'm like, I feel like it would look weird to like if I didn't like if I still had my full right leg, oh yeah, everything would be cut because I don't like putting stuff over this knee. It sucks. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie,
yeah,
but
that's just
at
when I
the
do
same time,
mine.
I'm like,
That and to me, having jeans on a prosthetic leg, it feels like bell bottoms. It feels like
oh
the
my
whole pant
God,
leg is just like flopping around down there. And you try
yeah,
to
and
do
they're
that
so
old
heavy.
90s, like you try to do the 90s like tight roll, and then you look like an idiot because
Yeah,
you got one leg rolled up. It doesn't work. So
yeah,
I cut all mine
no,
off and I put a drawstring in them. So all
that's
my
smart.
jeans have a pant leg and a drawstring. So I'll put them on. So it's like shorts on one side and not on the other.
Yeah,
So works
yeah,
pretty good. Um, with you being up north, I'm sure you probably get this question quite often, but with you being up north, you guys actually get snow, like legit snow.
yeah.
Um,
Unfortunately,
does does a double get cold? I mean, can you wear shorts in the middle of the winter?
I could. I don't mainly because
Okay.
I still have some of my thigh on my like right leg is still completely
Yeah,
like
that
I
makes sense.
have all of it.
Yeah.
So I technically I could because like I don't really get cold often. Um, but I don't like snow. So
No.
I don't know. I could if I wanted to, I just don't. I like to blend in, I guess, with people like, oh, I don't want to wear shorts because like they're wearing sweatpants, so I'm gonna wear sweatpants because I'm comfortable.
Right. Yep.
Even though they don't keep me warm because there's really no difference, but I just want to feel like I feel comfortable or look
Yeah.
it at least.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, when you said, "Well, let's talk about thigh," I was like, "Well, yeah, I didn't even that didn't even really occur to me. I guess I'm just
Yeah.
thinking both, so
Yeah.
therefore.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
because I was like, I bet she gets asked that all the time. It's like, "Do your
I
legs get
do.
cold?" I mean, for me, my leg will get cold, but it's like it gets cold from the actual like if it's really, really, really cold outside, it'll get cold and it travels up. Just like, any other metal pipe or
Yeah.
anything like that. And then the socket itself will start to actually get chilly and you're like, and then it kind of
I
becomes
honestly, with me, like, so we are hitting a heat wave right now. We are getting up to the hundreds in Ohio this week,
yeah,
and I feel heat more on my amputated, like on my sockets. Like I can feel the heat going through my socket onto my leg, like through my liner and everything onto my leg.
it's just
So I
bacon.
don't like really, really hot weather. Yeah, because I can actually feel that. So yeah, weird. I don't know. I can't feel cold, but I can feel hot. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I got you. It's man, it's such you can't explain it to anybody. I
Yeah,
try and
you
try and
really
try
can't.
my best with this channel as much as possible, but you just can't explain if you've never lived it, you just can't explain it, man.
Mm-mm.
And
Yeah,
and that's what I try to do again with this whole spotlight on amputee series is kind of let people tell their stories and that kind of thing, and just
yeah,
kind of everybody has their own little different experience with it, and that's kind of what I was kind of trying to showcase a little
Definitely.
bit.
Yeah.
But let's see, we had a couple people pop in. I was wanting to say hello to real quick. Let's see, there he is, Mr. Brandon. Good seeing you, buddy. Maka, hello, and Chandelier. Good seeing you as always. And I believe that was it. We got Mac and we got Cowboy still hanging in. Everybody's chilling. Let's see, what did it say? My brother in law has three different castings because his leg swells throughout the day. He switches it out when it starts to swell. He has less sores and less bruising. That's, I mean, that's pretty cool. I guess he would have to change out the entire thing, though. I mean, you're gonna have to unbolt your foot,
Yeah.
and your everything, unless he has the foot
Yeah.
and everything
I
already
was
attached.
wondering. Yeah, I was like, how?
Yeah, man, that's a lot of work. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I can see how that would be
Unless like
awesome.
you have three different sets of legs, because that'd be pretty cool. Just pop each one on as the day
Oh my
goes.
God, yes,
That'd be
absolutely.
nice.
I'm in. Sign me up. Let's do that.
Make them bright. That probably wouldn't happen, but I'd vouch for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Max said. He's just like all the different voices and perspectives are important and helpful. Good. That's what I'm trying to do. Is trying to convey that message with everybody. Hey, there's Witch from the past. Good seeing you. Um, well, awesome, man. I mean, you know, I like to ask people a question at the end of every interview, and that question is typically, how has it changed your life? How is it, what has changed in Rochelle's life? That kind of thing. And the way I like to put it is, okay, if you could tell yourself, like if you could stand outside yourself and go back to the night before your amputation, you know, before it's like, okay, this is real. I'm getting ready to be an actual amputee now. It's something that now that you going into it had no clue. What would you tell yourself?
I don't know. That's hard because like I'm always a very positive person. So like any situation that happens to me, I take with a grain of salt. So like I don't ever really like um I don't know, I feel like I'm just a positive person. Like I never get down on my situation or like I mean I do, but like not all the time. But I don't know because like when I first got my um legs, my prosthetist literally told me he goes, I could give you a broomstick and a peg and you could walk on it. So I don't think I mean that it gets easier, I guess. But I was already walking like 6 months out of the hospital, so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that like gets easier. It's not as hard as like people make it seem. Stay
Just stay
positive.
positive.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I think I always tell people I think the best outcome, I guess, for me in this situation is I have a lot of nieces and nephews. Unbiologically, though. My sister doesn't have kids or anything yet, but like my friends have kids, and so I think the best outcome is they will understand that people are different. You know what I mean? So like they walk in the store and they see me at beauty, like they're not gonna stare because their aunt Shell's one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just letting them grow up with that perspective of not everyone's gonna look the same and everyone's different. I think that's like the greatest outcome that even though the situation that happened to me was bad, that's still the greatest outcome that I can think of is just watching them grow up and knowing that people are different, I guess. In a
Yeah.
way, like that's what I want for my daughter as well. So she goes to a store when she's older and says, "Oh yeah, my mom's an amputee," or like she won't look at you like I hate when I get weird looks in stores. Like it drives me nuts. Like ask me, like approach me. And I know a lot of people are like, don't want to do that, but like I'd rather
Well,
have you
how
approach
do
me
you
and
deal
ask
with
me
that?
than stare at me.
Like, how do
People
you deal
staring
with
at me?
what happened? How do you deal with that? Do you get upset or do you kind of,
I
you
used
know,
to.
joke about it?
It actually took me until about I would say last year to get to a point where I could actually talk about what happened and without literally crying my eyes out.
Right.
It took me until last year to be able to do that. But now I just tell them my story. I tell them what happened. Or I do mess around with them. Like I told my nephew that, I guess it wasn't a lie though, because I told him I was playing in the street and got hit by a car, and he doesn't play the road anymore. So technically, I won.
You're not lying. I mean, I
I'm
mean,
not lying. I mean, I wasn't playing in it, but like, I was
well,
in it.
you don't have to tell the whole story, all right? You don't have to know all that. I mean, come
No,
on, man.
that's all he needs to know, and he has not played in the street since. So,
Well, I mean, lesson learned, kid. Lesson
lesson learned. A lot of people also think it's from like oh, being in the army.
Yeah,
That is what a lot
that
of people
I actually
assume.
meant to ask you that. Yeah, thank you for your service. How do you deal with that?
Yes.
So I guess my final
Um,
question wasn't my final question at all. I do apologize.
no, you're fine. Yeah, so I don't know why that bothers me. That question bothers me a lot actually when people ask me that, because I'm like, so you just think you go see all these amputees are just automatically because they were in the army? Like, I appreciate that you think like nothing against the men and women who fight for this country, but like you think I'm tiny. What do I have no business doing that. None.
Yeah.
But no, I mean I know they mean well. I have family in the army. I have friends in the military, so I mean I guess it does kind of make me feel good when they just think that I'm in the army. But yeah, that was the other day I was walking into the smoothie place and they said, "Did you serve?" And I'm like, "No, I know I did not." I was in a hurry, so I didn't go into like full detail. I'm like, "No, I didn't," and I grabbed my smoothie and walked out because I had to go to a party. But yeah, no.
I've served in my World of Warcraft team plenty of times and a
Yeah.
badass at Call of Duty, but that's pretty much about it. That's pretty much where
To
it
the
ends.
extent, yeah,
But I
yeah,
do greatly appreciate everything that our veterans do for us. Well,
I do
we're going to be
too.
very, very clear about that for sure. But
Yes,
yeah, I
definitely.
get that as well. Thank you for your service.
Yeah. I mean, it
But
makes sense though, but at the same time, I don't know.
yeah,
It does make sense in a way.
yeah, absolutely. Well, let's take some comments here and questions if anybody has anything, and then I will cut you free, my friend, and you can go on about your life. Let me see here. Let me see. So I've experimented it with my brother-in-law's leg. I have it down to 10 point. Oh, so he's trying to shave pounds off of it. Okay. So let's see. I have it down to 10.12 pounds from 15 pounds. Being an engineer, I'm always thinking of something to help him out. Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, if you have the like milling machines and stuff to do that kind of stuff, man, weight reduction is like that's key.
Yeah,
A
I
lot of
wish I could weight reduct.
yeah, yeah. I mean, these knees are heavy, heavy, heavy. So
So
I
heavy.
yeah, I could imagine. I have the Rio Knee XC, and that thing, man, you pick it up and it's just like, I mean, the first time he handed it to me, he was like, here's your new knee, and I took it and held
Yeah,
it, and it was just like, I was like, oh my god. He's like, right? And he's like, get used to it.
I can't even imagine. I went to this I just got back from Florida this week. I went to the Empower Fest down there, and they have like ankles now that are like computer. I mean, they probably always have. I never saw one until I was on this little vacation thing in Power Fest, and they have like the computerized ankles and everything. Like it just helps you like I guess you can move like
Mhm.
actually have like ankle movement.
Has a
Hydraulic.
gyroscope
That's what
in
I'm
it.
trying to think of. Yeah.
Yep.
You know how heavy that
They
would have
have
to be? Like on top of your knee? I couldn't even
yeah.
imagine.
It has what's called auto sweep. Like say, here's my phone. If you pick up your foot and step instead of it going like our feet swing like they just do like this every time you walk, well the foot will
Mhm.
actually like stay flat and the whole leg will
Yeah.
like bend with it. Yeah, I've actually seen that. It'll like stay no matter how far you bend it back, the leg will stay flat. You can stick it out in front of
That's
you,
insane.
and yeah, it like will
I
go
didn't see
across
that until
the
the other day. I'm like,
yeah
man.
Empower Fest. Yeah, that's a thing. Let's see.
Yeah,
Yeah, Empower Fest. Fuck yeah. I just looked that up. Amazing shite.
yeah, it is a great opportunity for anyone who can actually go to one. I highly suggest. I have been to three now. Next year I'm going to my fourth one, so I highly suggest going to them.
Yeah.
Especially if you feel alone, because like I know when you first become an amputee, you're like, I'm the only one. Like there ain't no one can relate to me. And so when I went to my first Empower Fest, that actually opened my eyes. Like you're not alone. Like there are people like you. You just got to get yourself out there and go. So and
Yep.
I made some great friendships at those conferences. So it's definitely worth going.
Good deal. That's awesome. I personally have never been to one, but I want to go. What I want to do is give it a few more years and let this channel kind of build up a little bit. And my prosthetist has actually talked about, going and possibly like setting up there and like, being, like a person, like a booth, so
Mhm.
to speak. He was just like, but I
Yeah,
would give that more time, kind of build up what you're doing a little bit. Cause he's like, I
yeah,
believe
for
in what you're
sure.
doing, but just give it some time first.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a great idea. It's kind of funny because before I even posted like about doing this, I was literally just talking to my coworkers and stuff at work, and I'm like, I'm starting a podcast, and they're like, a podcast? I said, yeah. I said, I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna talk about my story. I'm gonna get people to come on, and I don't care who they are, like friends, family, how like how what happened to me affected them, and just for like friends and family to come on in support of other people going through what I'm going through and talking to their friends and family saying, hey, you'll be okay. This is what I did to cope with my child, or this is what I
Sure.
did to cope with my friend. So it's kind of funny that like right after I discussed that with my boss that you posted that you were looking for people. I'm like, okay.
Good, good. That's
I'm like, that's
fantastic. I'm
insane.
glad.
I'm like, that was like
Go do
perfect
that,
timing.
please. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, please, by all means. I'm
it's
I'm telling
crazy.
everybody to go do that. I'm not trying to corner any markets, anything like that. Please go
Yeah.
do it, and I'll be your first subscriber. I mean, by all means, go do that. That would be amazing because that's what I'm trying to do out
Yeah.
here is trying to
Yeah.
we're people too, it's not like a us and them kind of thing, it's like we're whatever amputee rights. It's not that. It's more of just
Mm-mm.
we're the same as everybody else, but we got kind of a cool story to tell, and
Yeah.
that's about it. And before you look down and say, "Oh my God, what happened?" You'll already know because you came here and heard the whole damn story.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, my
and
dad's been trying to get me to do like public speaking. Like he wants me to go like to schools and rallies and all these places and be a public speaker and talk about my story. But I'm like, I have stage fright, dude. Like, give me a hot minute. I just had to do a public speak in front of 200 people at an Empower Fest. No, never again.
I'll say this: you have absolutely killed it tonight.
Oh, thank you.
You're
I'm trying
very
to come out of
welcome.
my comfort zone more. So doing stuff like this, I enjoy because then like it gets me out of my comfort zone and like even though I can't see people that are watching, I can read comments and stuff. So like it kind of helps prepare for when
Sure.
if I do it, you know?
Sure, absolute, man. It's incredible. Um, I want to see you do that. I hope you do that. And
Yeah,
in the process, if there's anything you need, reach out. And what little bit of knowledge I have, I can help you out, and I
yeah.
will. So just let me
Yeah,
know.
I've
And
been I've been trying to like Google and research like how to start a podcast or how to become a public speaker, like what do you have to do? So yeah, I've been researching it for almost a year now. I was actually supposed to go one of my old high school no, middle school teachers reached out to me not too long ago. Never got back to me though. And she asked me to come speak at the middle school about my situation, but she never responded when I told her yes, just let me know when, and like I never heard anything back. So, but that
yeah,
could have been the start. Could have.
just remember they have what's called selective eye contact, where you'll when you're telling bits of your speech and your story. I'm sitting here, I'm talking, I'm telling my story. Look at this person, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and then I'm sitting here and I
Mhm.
start and I look at this person, and then always
Yeah.
kind of look around and just pick a person out of the crowd, and that makes them feel
Mhm.
more like engaged, like, oh crap,
Yeah.
it's like I'm part of this. And that,
Right, yeah.
that kind of stuff helps moving around a lot, moving from side to the stage,
Mhm.
back and forth, especially if you're an amputee, because it helps see, people see you walking around the entire time that you're up there telling your story and talking and that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
that's, a lot of, you don't want to be behind a podium at all, because you're kind of hiding everything that, you're
Exactly.
there to
Yep.
kind of show.
Yeah.
So, well, hell yeah, that is awesome. I hope you do that. Please go do that and come back and tell us all about it and give us the
Yeah, for
name and all that
sure.
stuff, and I'll promote it and we'll get it out there, and we'll just I don't have a huge massive channel, but what I do have, we'll get that name out there and get as many people on board with you and
Yeah.
try to just get that train rolling for you as fast as we possibly can. So you let me know when you're
Yeah.
ready.
I
Just reach
definitely
out
will.
to me.
I'm gonna do a little bit more research, but I'll definitely reach out to you because I'll definitely have some questions for you.
For sure, for sure. And if it's something I can't answer, I'll find the answer for you. All right, I'll dig and dig until we find the answer, and we'll get it figured out for you.
Teamwork makes the dream work, man.
That's right. This show is sponsored by two different podcasts that I could reach out to, and they would definitely help us, figure out what's going on. If you wanted to, like,
Nice.
anything from getting stuff like uploaded to Apple Music and Spotify, that kind of thing, I
Mhm.
they know what to do as far as that goes. Or if you want to do a video podcast, I could show you how to do that as well. So,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
either way, we're gonna get you fixed up. So
Either
don't you
way.
worry about that. Well, Miss Rochelle, I greatly, greatly appreciate you coming on and taking the time to tell us your amazing story. You're awesome. I think my audience has truly greatly appreciated everything you've said tonight and everything you came on and been brave enough to tell us about. Um, have you had a good time?
Yeah, it was really
Yeah,
fun. I
good
definitely
deal.
love doing stuff like this.
Good deal. Well, you are welcome back anytime. Anytime you want to come back. What I want to do is kind of like after I'm done with these, I want to do a 6-part series, and then anybody that's been on the show before can come back on. I'm not. You don't have to, but if you want to later on, give us an update on how things are going, that kind of deal. And you're
Yeah,
welcome to be a part of that as well. So.
yeah, definitely. I'll definitely reach out to me whenever you do that, and I'll come back on for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Well, with that, I greatly appreciate everybody coming out. Thank you all so, so very, very much. I'd like to thank my amazing, amazing host, my amazing co-host. We're going to say that. I don't care. We'll
You
go with
know.
that. My amazing co-host, Miss Rochelle. Thank you so much for coming out. I want to
No,
greatly,
thank you for having me.
no problem at all. No problem at all. Thank you very much to Van Shoes, Bulow Prosthetics and Custom Orthotics, Taggart and Torrance podcast, Major's Mess Hall podcast. Without them, we would not be able to do the show. And just with that, I love you guys. Thank you, guys in chat. Thank everybody for coming out, being a part of these things. It means the world to us. And that's it. We're out. Y'all have a good night, everybody.
We're
Talk
out.
soon. We're out. Peace.
Peace.